Hi, folks. Welcome to episode 131 of the Wealth on Any Income podcast. This is where we talk about money tips, techniques, attitudes, information, and provide inspiration around your business and your money. I'm your host, Rennie Gabriel. In past episodes, we spoke about how to understand the numbers from your business, how to measure the level of pleasure based on where you spend your money, how to track your money in 5 to 10 seconds, and what determines how close you are to complete financial choice, and how to run your business without being in your business. Today we have as our guest Deepak Saini. Deepak is an anti-aging and longevity coach. As a CPA for 20 years, he spent many stressful years in the corporate world. He's overcome an autoimmune condition, back injury, and a lifelong battle with obesity. Deepak brings a unique perspective to working with his clients. When not spending time with his family, Deepak is researching and staying at the forefront of emerging and cutting-edge health research as a speaker, course instructor, writer, and he's actively working on becoming a centenarian, which is 100 years. Is that right?
That's correct. 100 years plus.
Terrific. Deepak, welcome to the Wealth on Any Income podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here today.
Terrific. I've got a good idea of why you're doing what you're doing because, like most people, we focus on what it is that impacts us directly. But tell me more about what you do, and you can touch on the why.
Yeah, absolutely. So you kind of touched on my backstory a little bit of the challenges I went through. It was overcoming those challenges that really changed my mindset of what aging can be and what health and longevity can be. So I work with people to change their mindset around aging, to realize what is possible for them, that there is no limitations, and that I think we've been conditioned by society to accept aging to these notions we have, and it doesn't need to be that way. And I just try to help educate people that there is more beyond that.
Thank you. And I confuse a lot of people with my age. And I don't know if you and I discussed this, but how old did you think I was?
I don't think we did discuss that.
Oh,
I'm gonna go mid-60s.
Thank you. This year I'll be 75.
Okay, well there you go.
Yeah, see?
Fantastic.
Yeah, so I try and emulate some of the stuff that you talk about. Now, as you're probably aware, I donate 100% of the profits from the work I do to various animal and veteran charities. And so my guests are also the kind of people who are philanthropic. Tell me about the charity or cause that's most important to you.
Yeah, so much like you, we also support animal shelters in our local area. We foster dog. We just have a new puppy. Well, he's not new anymore, but he was unfortunately born in the shelter, and him and his brothers and sisters. So we rescued him and to give him a better life. So that's big on our as a family, what we like to do as well. I'm also big in sort of giving back at the educational level. So I do a lot of stuff with my kids' school, sit on some boards, and just try and make their learning environment as enriched as possible.
Terrific. Well, now tell me about who are your target markets?
Yeah, I primarily work with leaders. So, they could be corporate leaders, they could be entrepreneurs, leaders of all sorts who, who realize, again, that mindset around aging, but realize that taking the steps in place to be feeling better, sleeping better, has, benefits not only for themselves personally and their immediate families, but also it transcends into the workplace and their business relationships and a nice big trickle effect. I feel that if people can work on themselves, there's probably at least 10, if not more, people that are indirectly affected by them feeling better and being the best versions of themselves.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I get an idea of what a failure might have been in your life in terms of health, but what would you say was your biggest failure, whether it's personal or business, and what insight did you gain from that?
Yeah, I could talk health failures all day long. What I'd like to share is, when I made the transition from the corporate world, I'm a CPA, got a bunch of degrees, successful career, et cetera, but moving into the entrepreneurial world, thinking I knew it all. And, there's only so much hustle and grind, and this might resonate with some of your listeners, that you can do before you have to actually ask for help and the proper help. And that's been a big part of my journey and has helped me up level to where I'm at now is getting the right coaching, the right mentors. And there's no shortage of people who'll sell you stuff, but finding the right people of quality to help me, know what I don't know. Sometimes we have blinders on. We can't even see what we don't know. To help me up level my game to where I'm at now, and I'm looking really forward to the next couple of years. I have some big things planned with my business to help more people.
Yeah, and I had a mentor who had a wonderful comment. When you talk about our own blind spots, she said, "Fish can't see the water they're swimming in."
Absolutely, they don't even know they're in water.
Exactly. Let's talk about the benefit, the goal, what outcome the people achieve who work with you, and give me an example, like a case study.
Sure. Here's one of my top case studies. So there's a young fellow, young executive, C-suite executive, mid 40s, relatively fit, didn't sleep very well. He understand that, was drinking a ton of coffee to get through his day. Honestly, he was quite skeptical of what I had to offer. But when I explained, my program and kind of how my different approach, and I put a lot of different pieces together, he was intrigued. So he thought he'd give it a whirl. What we found out is, he was actually overtraining, A-type personality, overtraining. Like, oh, you need to actually dial it back. This will actually help you in the long term, and you need to recover. Now, recovery is not sitting on the couch and watching Netflix at night. It is actually active recovery. He ended up buying a sauna, a few other things, stretching properly, that type of thing. We changed his nutrition just a little bit. Again, high active guy, and he was, be able to keep lean, but what kind of inflammation was he bringing into his body? So we changed that around. He was, for a young guy who was not obese, he was on a CPAP machine. Yeah, he needed it for sleep apnea. So through dietary changes, some mindfulness, some breath work, and some breath work training, we actually got him off of his CPAP machine. But the biggest thing that he said after the fact, when we were done working together, he said the biggest thing was just the awareness that, by the questions I posed to him and challenged him on his thinking, the awareness he got on some of his relationships. And he improved his relationship with his wife, reconnected with his sister, and improved the relationship with his parents. And there's some stuff that he had been holding on to. And that's why he was such a driven A-type person. So, and he said, that was the biggest thing I got from you, Deepak, was working on my personal relationships, let alone all the other stuff. Forget that he got off a CPAP machine. Forget that we dialed in and brought down inflammation, and he didn't have to have as many cups of coffee. He was sleeping better. It was his relationship. So one of my top case studies.
Yeah, fabulous. There's an expression about people will seek out the help based on what they want, and the person that they're often talking to can see what it is they need.
Absolutely.
And so it sounds like that was the relationship. Terrific, Deepak. Well, let me ask you, I know that there are probably people who are listening. I've got entrepreneurs, coaches, corporate trainers, and folks like that. They're probably going to want to reach out to you for more information. Do you have some free resource that can help them and get them connected to you?
Absolutely. I have a free guide that I would love to share with people. They can download it. It's a high level of kind of like what my methodology is, what I work on with my clients. And also the second half of that guide is a tracker. So you have 30 days of tracking. So you can see if some of these habit changes, will work for you, and you can track them. So it's a really nice resource for people.
Okay. Now, I think, is that it? DeepakSainiHealth.com/freebie?
Yes, exactly. DeepakSainiHealth.com/freebie.
So I'm going to have that in my show notes so people can just click on it and get to you. Is there a question that I should have asked you that would also give some great value to my folks that are listening?
Yeah, I don't want to dwell too much in my backstory, but I think one thing that I think most people know what they need to do is if they have around health challenges. Right. They first will say, "Oh, I got to eat better. I need to exercise. I need to sleep better." But I think my approach takes all of those and layers in a bunch more things and fits all the pieces together nicely. That's individualized and customized to you. And it all starts with mindset. A lot of people talk about mindset. A lot of people talk about nutrition and exercise. They put some of those together, but it's so much more. It's the stress reduction. It's the environmental factors. And then for those who are so bold to go, the cutting edge and the newest technologies. So it's just fitting all those pieces together. So most people don't realize that if you really want to be a centenarian and hang out with us 50 years from now, then you got to put all the pieces together. So
Yeah. And so, yeah, what I'm hearing is that a lot of people just focus on one or two things for their health, and there's a lot more to it than that.
Absolutely. And no, don't get me wrong. It's good to start and
Yeah.
start one of those two. But if you really want to move the dial, really move the dial, you got to layer all those pieces together.
Fabulous. Deepak, thank you so much for being on my show.
Thank you very much for having me. It was a blast. I appreciate you having me.
Great. And if any of our listeners would like to know how books, movies, and society programs them to be poor and what the cure is, then log on to wealthonanyincome.com/TEDx. You'll hear my TED Talk and can request a free 27-page roadmap to complete financial choice and receive a weekly email with tips, techniques, or inspiration around your business or your money. And if you'd like to see how you can increase your wealth and donate to the causes that touch your heart, please check out our affordable program, Wealth with Purpose, again on the wealthonanyincome.com website. To my listeners, thank you for tuning in. You can listen to the Wealth on Any Income podcast on your favorite platform, and please rate, review, and subscribe. Bye-bye for now, and we look forward to seeing you next week.